And welcome to the British Grand Prix review. We've had a wonderful race this afternoon, and well, what can I say? It was the biggest fight was Verstappen versus Rosberg. That I didn't really see that coming prior to this weekend, so impressive, really impressive. So Hamilton drove a great race, started on pole, never got into any real trouble, so good job from him. Great, great race, and I have to say, on the podium, I think he did well. I mean, he made a comment about the spectators on track booing Rosberg, and he's like, "Well, the people here are great, and not that much booing." But unfortunately, they still booed Rosberg after that. Somewhat disappointing because Rosberg here just had a great battle with Verstappen and he got second, had a great race, and well, okay, he then got a 10-second time penalty. I'm thinking, well, okay, what the hell is this 10-second time penalty? It's still, I mean, the settings message was allowed under the technical rules. It was also allowed to state that he should that he should skip seventh gear. He then just asked for information, and to confirm the confirmation from that was the fact that he got a 10-second time penalty, which is absolutely ridiculous. If they wanted to put a penalty on it because they said they wanted to uh, straighten the rules on this and imply heavier on the messages that were relayed through radios to the drivers, then they should have basically stated otherwise, but they didn't, and therefore the punishment is ridiculous. But it gives Max Verstappen P2 after a wonderful race, have overtaking Rosberg on the intermediates, closing the gap to Lewis actually. I mean, if he didn't go off at turn one twice, and he went off the first time, he lost 3 seconds to Hamilton. When Hamilton went off, Verstappen went off as well. After, and after that, the gap between Hamilton and Verstappen was 4.5 seconds. So that would have been 2 seconds approximately if he would have just driven on the track. And he would have had like 2.5 seconds to 3 seconds more to Rosberg. So all in all, he could have done a bit better there, and he would have had a lot. He would have had to fight with Rosberg later and different traffic and stuff. So all in all, it could have been really interesting. But yeah, he made two mistakes there. Those were costly, basically. I think else he might have been able to challenge Hamilton. I mean, he would have, especially if he didn't drove off twice in basically no time at all. He would have probably been on the tail of Hamilton, putting some pressure on Hamilton. So that would be great to see a battle for the lead. But still, it was a great race. Ricciardo, after stopping before the virtual safety car, dropped behind Perez because Perez did stop in the virtual safety car, which is very great for Perez. But yeah, Ricciardo lost out there and basically lost about 14 seconds, then got past Perez and pretty much drove the same pace as Verstappen, lost another 4 seconds during the rest of the race, so not that much. So I guess a good race from Ricciardo, but nothing really to fight for. Perez did a great. No, wait, Raikkonen eventually got Perez as well, even though I believe Raikkonen was the driver that most missed turn one, basically costing him a lot of time. But in the end, he still got P5. Good job from him. I mean, just it wasn't really Ferrari's weekend, and him getting up to P5 was just good. And after that, it was yeah, pretty much midfield battles all the way. And Perez did well, Sainz did well, and yeah, not much more to add. After that, Vettel just made it barely into the point. P9, I believe. It's just it wasn't his race. He couldn't do anything. Made some small mistakes in the early part of the race, which cost him a lot of time. But after that, he wasn't really able to pass anyone, even though at the end the track was pretty dry and all. He just drove there, and that was pretty much it. Couldn't really do anything about it. So yeah, for me, driver of the day, well, Verstappen, to be able to match Mercedes' pace in the wet, even be a little bit faster, I think. I mean, he was some laps he was like 1.5 to 2 seconds faster than everyone, and other laps Hamilton was slightly faster. But I think those were the laps that Verstappen was saving energy. The other laps was of course the other way around, but in the laps that Verstappen was saving energy, he only lost half a second. So I think he did really well in the weather conditions, in the the more wet conditions. And well, what can I say? I mean, good race. Um, Not much more I can add. I mean, pretty much was about the battle between Verstappen and Rosberg. And the midfield battle, I think Massa did a great job of fending off a lot of people with the Williams, which is pretty much a really bad car for wet conditions. So he did really well. Bottas just made mistake after mistake and just dropped back. Massa eventually dropped back as well, but he tried and didn't really make mistake. Just wasn't more possible with the Williams. And I'm not gonna make a new one for that cough. So, anyways, was a great race, good action, and yeah, I liked the downpour of 15 minutes for a start of the race. Too bad we don't get wet starts anymore. We have to start. They have to start behind the safety car now. I get why, but it would have added some extra bonus to it. It would be cool. But yeah, nothing to do about that. Good race, and see you guys next time for Hungary.